Thing. Testing. Test. Volume test. Test. Volume test. That's better. Hey, hello everybody. Back from more Genshin Impact. Hopefully do some hangout quests. There's stuff we can do. Go. And Zuma. Gotta do a few of these. Sorry. All wrong. I don't want to try flying too far. Boat. Got to map. Up here. Off of this island. Yeah. Wire point right there. And you have to turn it manually. Doesn't follow the camera. Jacked. Here, guys.
Let's investigate this further.
So let's eat some guys.
Lucky day. Light blade. How's this?
From
Moment of birth. Live. Worthless.
To the fairy. Boom. Day. Light blade.
Come into being. Live. Witness my great undertaking.
first. There we go. Get the drops.
Come on, we can do it.
And where's the next quest? Hang out. One more. Ah, yeah. Either way. Control towers and voltage. Do this one. Here's what it is.
Demons do not stop for the raid. Move.
Kindness. He gets struck by lightning. Your wings.
The insolent shall be punished.
Coming up. Up with this thing. Really? Stop it.
Let the show be.
Impossible.
Get rid of it. Come on, why is Zhao there? Survived.
Burst forth.
Fail. Up. Try again.
Coming to be.
Let's dance.
Let's do this. Ori. Food. Cows. And try this. Destiny. Go. Here. Go.
Useless.
Run. Get struck by lightning. Just got struck by lightning. There. Down there. Hope we'll make it. Oh, their quest with Cheryl Towers. Excuse me, sorry. And sneak. There's some hill Cheryl Towers that we're probably doing. Towers are over here. These are towers. The old Cheryl even Norn.
Burst forth.
Lead that commission with Scout here. Stop following me. Oh, Kaya's. The hair of Kaya.
Get out of my way.
Got struck by lightning again.
That's it. The day has finally come.
Really? Go poor Armos. Stop.
Get out of my way. Is
Just,
this retribution?
you just threw me off a cliff. Poor Armos. Let's go.
What's the hurry?
Five Zhao. And
Oh, so sorry.
I think we're gonna get bells here. So be safe. Across the bridge. Yep. Right where thought I'd be. Just interesting. Or hang out with you.
Hey, little birdie. Don't feel down. Come and perch on my shoulder. Don't be shy. I'll show you around town.
I
Really? No wonder they never pay attention to me. Forget it. I probably shouldn't be anthropomorphizing them anyway. Haven't seen you in some time. To which one of the Animo Archon's winds do I owe the honor?
Ordain my fate.
Oh, is this your way of saying that you missed me?
Oh boy.
Since it wasn't meant to be with this little birdie, I'd better leave it alone. Let's take a walk, shall we?
Walk around.
Please register new ship arrivals here.
If you're wondering why I'm here, Jean's been worrying about trade safety recently. I discovered this when I unwittingly burst into her office to save the day. Another job involving long-distance travel falls to me. I suppose it's my own fault for having such a strong sense of duty. Still, on the bright side, business is now taken care of. And I have unused travel funds, so I was planning to...
Talk to him.
Gundafar, we are in the middle of a war. Your place is at the front lines by my son's side. Pray tell, what provokes your unwarranted return to the palace?
A matter of utmost importance, Your Majesty, such that I must personally report it to you.
Huh. Outdoor theater. Looks fun.
Let's stop and see the show.
Actually, yes. I saw some guards do a musical performance when I was traveling with their caravan in Sumeru. They were desert dwellers. So are these actors. And I think I actually recognize one of them. Come on, let's go watch.
That's enough work for today.
Go.
Your Majesty, not only has God bestowed the throne upon you, but your beloved son, Prince Kubad, has led our brave warriors to victory against Frasyav's army. His men have laid down their arms and fled. Frasyav's brazen ambition is no more. He has bowed his head and now presents to your Majesty an offering of treasures and hostages, as well as a plea for peace. My king, this battle has finally restored the dignity of our people. Moreover, with Frasyav's offer of land comes the opportunity to expand our borders, as your Majesty so greatly wishes. His Highness the Prince and I believe this peace settlement will be a great boon to our nation. It is for this reason alone that I have removed my armor and made haste back to our halls from the front lines. My king, what say you to this proposal?
Ah, it's the tale of Prince Kubad. Ever heard this one?
Nope, never.
Don't worry, I still remember the general plot. Let me fill you in on the background while the king deliberates. The main characters are the brilliant Prince Kubad and his war-hungry father, King Kabus. The one talking to the king right now is Gundafar, the prince's tutor. When the prince was young, the king was deceived by a malicious rumor that the prince had mistreated his stepmother. He demanded that the prince walk through a blazing fire to prove his innocence. Miraculously, the prince emerged unscathed, thus proving his innocence. But the seeds of doubt had already been sown in the king's mind. Now uneasy in the presence of his mistrustful father, the prince requested to be sent away to the battlefield where he would fight against Frasyav's army. That's the enemy general we heard them mention just now. This is the part where the prince has won the war and decided to forge a peace with the rival nation. He wrote a letter recommending peace to his father. Oh, it looks like the king's made up his mind. Let's keep watching.
Watching the
Frosty
show.
lost because he did not have the blessing of God. Our God will always watch over us and punish our enemies. Once the bells of war have begun to toll, they shall not cease until the blood of our enemies fills the land. There can be no victory until the last enemy soldier has fallen. If Kubad still wishes to be my son and hold the intaglio I bestowed upon him as proof of his royal blood, then he must obey my command.
Your Majesty, I must caution that a nation destroyed is not a fallen city writ large. Now, the loss of one city strikes fear into the hearts of our enemies, compelling them to accept defeat and cede land in exchange for peace. If, however, we insist on bringing a whole nation to its knees, then so long as a single person is left standing, they will see us as their sworn enemy, and one day return to us tenfold the pain that we have inflicted on their nation and family. My king, a people is to their nation as wild grass to the open prairie. Though we burn down the whole field and spare not one blade of grass, roots continue to grow unseen beneath the surface. Come the spring, it is all but inevitable that fresh green shoots will rise up from the ashes.
Cease, Gundafar. Your mind grows dull in your old age, filled with naive delusions. We shall have no more need of you on the battlefield. As for my son Kubad, I will summon him back to the capital, so he may be tried by a court-martial.
What are you saying, my noble king? Why must you mistrust your own flesh and blood and sink ever deeper into the blight of hatred? When he was falsely accused, you once doubted his honor and made him walk through a raging fire. Did he not prove himself worthy by emerging unharmed from the flames? Now you would turn me away when I seek only to provide the wisdom of counsel. What is the justification for this?
The justification is that my word, not yours, is the law of the land. Cease and be gone, Gundafar, so you may spend the rest of your days with your wife.
What has become of the king that I served with my life? Fanaticism has robbed him of all reason and wisdom. Peace is surely the most favorable path for our nation, yet he refuses to accept it.
I must think of a way to seize control of the army back from the hands of my wayward son, that they might continue the fight to the end. Perhaps the first task should be this. I shall send a loyal contingent of warriors to eliminate Frosiyov and the hostages he has sent to our palace.
Brilliant acting, Darbil.
Oh.
I saw you approaching us in the middle of the scene. I was worried that my performance would be subpar and you'd think I was just making a fool of myself.
Not at all. Far from it. Actually, let me introduce you. This is Darbil, the actor for King Caboose. When we first got to know each other, he was still a guard for one of the merchant caravans. Seems like he's now made the switch to full-time acting.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Any friend of Kaya's is a friend of mine.
Yep.
To be perfectly honest, I wasn't making all that much as a mercenary. It felt right to me to get away from the danger and live a more stable life. I was already pretty good at telling stories, so I just recruited a few friends and started performing shows all over the country. Full disclosure, we had to put this little stage together using whatever wood and cloth we could borrow. It's really low budget. Anyway, we're all good enough at acting to get through the motions, but none of us are any good at coming up with a script. Everything we tried to write just sounded off somehow. So I got a student from the academia to adapt an old story I knew to make it more appealing to our audience. What do you think? Passable?
I could tell that you've had someone tighten up the lines. They turned out very nicely.
Ah, that's good. Well, as you can see, even now, we still don't have much of an audience. Don't suppose you'd be interested to see the rest of the show?
Sure, why not? I don't have anything pressing lined up. And I don't think the Traveler does either. Tickets for 2, please. How much would that be?
Boy.
There's no need for tickets. You could just get some food from Jafar Tavern. We've worked out an arrangement with them. We've actually found a sponsor for this performance, too. He's not too happy about the poor turnout, though. I doubt we'll be able to keep him for the next performance. A real pity. But what can you do, huh?
Darbil Asgar still hasn't shown up for the next scene. We should get his costume and sword out so they'll be ready to go the moment he gets here.
My apologies. I have to get ready for the upcoming scene. I'll see you from the stage.
Food.
Would you two like to order some food? What can I get you? If you're looking for recommendations, today's special is the tandoori roast chicken.
Ah, bear with us a moment. We're just going to take a look at the menu.
How'd you become friends with Darbell?
I was at Port Ormos discussing some business opportunities, and some crook was trying to pull a fast one on me. Darbell took pity on me and politely asked him to make himself scarce. He's a good guy. A decent storyteller, too. Quite an interesting character. There's a lot of fun to be had if you hang around interesting people doing interesting things. Especially if you're in the company of an interesting friend. That's my secret formula for staying in a good mood. Try it out sometime. You'll see what I mean. Thanks for waiting. We're ready to order now. We'll take you up on that tandoori roast chicken. And let's throw in some desserts, too. One each of the rose custard, that talumba, and the patisara pudding, please. That should see us through the show.
Out with him. Be just talk to yourself.
We've got good seats, close to the stage, but also not too crowded. We can watch the show as we eat. If I remember correctly, the next scene should focus on the prince. But I won't spoil it for you. You have to experience it for yourself.
Did the stories make quite an impression on you?
You could say that. It's always stayed with me because it's hammered home a cruel but realistic truth. People do not choose where and when to be born. Yet the circumstances of their birth define the choices that they will have for the rest of their life.
Here you are. The check's on the table, too. Just call me over when you're ready to set.
No need. I'll pay up front. Here.
Thank you, sir. Oh, but this...
Call it a token of my gratitude for the excellent service. The food all smells wonderful, too. So please pass my compliments to the chef.
Thank you so much, sir.
Let's dig in,
Hey, Kaya. I'm so sorry, but the actor who plays the prince has run into some difficulties and won't be able to make it. We can't do the rest of the show without him, so I'm really, really sorry, but we'll have to call the show right.
Understudy. And
Ooh, that would be
don't-
fun.
just
Now,
kidding.
Daniel, would you lose any income if I were to mess this up?
Not really. I mean, there's not much of an audience here anyway. I wouldn't want to take too much of your time, though.
Don't worry about
I
that.
will be part of it.
I like to be...
Let me think. Well, you already know the story, so you just need to memorize a few lines. Huh, you know what? This might actually work. Ah, wait, but Kubot has a specific costume he's supposed to wear, and there's no way you'd fit into it. Switching actors is one thing, but wearing street clothes on stage would
Well, good thing that I've actually got a costume with me.
Hey,
Goes
what?
pretty well with your staged.
You're kidding. Can you show...
Sure. If you can show me the way to your changing...
It's in the restaurant.
Course.
Gotta say, I think I actually look pretty dapper in this. It's a pity
Actually,
I
do
don't
look
have
pretty
any
good in that.
opportunities- Uh-oh. Not a fan of me as a prince?
Kaya, here's your script for the next scene. It's not too long, but you also don't have very long to prepare. Do you think you can memorize your lines in time?
Only one way to find out.
Amazing. Let's be part of the
Okay,
play.
I think we've covered all your lines and movements on stage. You haven't had long to...
All right.
Great. Then let's get this show on the road.
Watch his performance. Behind.
Kubad, son of Kabus, the fate of this battle is clear. I beg you, please spare my few remaining men. They no longer have the strength to fight back.
Frasyav, though you now lead only the husk of a once mighty army, I have no desire to crush your dignity. Even your most savage warriors have no desire to see further bloodshed, and none among your ranks have opposed these peace talks. Nevertheless, I must hear it from you one final time. General Frasyav, do you agree to sign a treaty in good faith and commit from this day forth to peace between our nations?
With my army in ruins, I am in no position to do otherwise. But on this, I give you my word.
It's my
Yes, let us
Some I
end
made.
our hostilities and send our surviving men home to their families.
We share the desire to lay down our arms for good and liberate
Tar.
our hearts from the dirge of hatred. Then as God above is our witness, by the authority vested in me by this intaglio of King Kabus, I hereby declare that I will spare your hostages and what remains of your army. May peace be restored to this land, and may these fields of war become a place where crops grow aplenty. My tutor, Gundafar, has already made haste to my father, the king, with the recommendation of a truce. It is my sincere hope that he will see that peace as a path to prosperity and grant me his blessing.
Prince Kubad, your name is renowned throughout your land and ours. I will place my hope in your words.
One will find on a battlefield no master of ceremonies, nor the paper on which a treaty may be signed. In their absence, let us raise our weapons and swear an oath. I, Kubad, son of Kabus, hereby pledge protection to you and all of your kin. May the oceans be stained red with my blood if I am ever to renounce this oath.
Wow, your friend is so dreamy. He's not a real prince by any chance, is he?
go.
Hey, Rashana, you don't want to miss this. The good-looking guy who left that huge tip is acting on stage with Darble's troupe.
Darble's one lucky man.
I return, Your Highness. I hope I'm not too late. Have you already promised peace to Frasyav?
Nay, I am not so rash as to preempt my father's blessing. I promised only what I could so far, the safety of his kin.
My child, I must share with you the gravest news. Kabus has become blinded by fanaticism and hatred, and will stop at nothing to vanquish every last man under Frasyav's lead.
How can this be? You mean to say that my father has rejected our proposal for peace?
He has indeed. I urged him to reconsider, and for this I was rebuked and dismissed from his service. But far stricter punishment than this awaits you, should you return home with your troops. Please heed my warnings, dear child. I dare not imagine what unspeakable atrocities your father intends to commit.
Nay, the truce must stand. I cannot renounce my oath. How can man claim to stand above beast without remaining true to his word? The masses have grown weary of death and conflict, in both our nation and theirs. Are we all now to bend to his will and massacre countless more to satisfy a desire that is his alone? When I departed my beloved home to fight in a foreign land, I did so to honor his wishes and for my duty to our people. Alas, is this fate's grand design? Is this
Oh boy.
fate's grand design?
Here's the line.
The next line is, alas, is this fate's grand design, that I should spend the rest of my days in a foreign land, till I am laid to rest in a grave far from home?
Must it be so?
Huh? Wait, that's
Oh
not
boy,
what I
now
said.
he's
Kaya, did you not hear me?
Robin.
My dear audience, I ask you this. Do you believe in fate?
Oh no, here we go.
If fate decreed that your life was to end in tragedy, what would you do?
Improving. Let me just throw the prop to me. Like improv with the audience to play along. Challenge my fate and rise above it.
Then so must it be. Yes, so must it be. I shall discard this intaglio and rid myself of the shackles of fate.
Wait, but that's not... My dear prince, do you intend to betray your father?
Oh no.
Abandon your heritage?
Fate means to send the machinations of war to every corner of the land, to fan the flames of conflict till they engulf the entire world. Fate would see my sword tainted with the blood of innocence, that the bright banner of my homeland might fly in every nation known to mankind. But I shall not bow to the will of fate. I am no pawn in heaven's plan.
Bravo! Where did this guy come from? Is he one of the new hires? Hey, shut up. Stop interrupting.
I, Kubad, will spend the rest of my days in a foreign land till I breathe my last in a place far from home.
Oh, at least he brought it back in the end.
Prince Kubad, my child, there is no need to be rash. Please bring at least your fortune and the retainers who will always be loyal to you.
Gundafar, my dear mentor, you have always been like a father to me. It brings me only anguish to bid you farewell. But I must walk this path, or freedom dies by my hand. Goodbye, my tribe and kin. Farewell, sweet land of my birth.
Goodbye, my child.
Here you go. Atukaya.
Ooh, it's Prince Kubad. Could I please get your autograph?
Why, certainly, ma'am.
Ooh, thank you. I'll just go find a pen.
Kid show.
Feeling more like a fan now? Acting is quite fun. If there ever came a day when I left the Knights of Favonius, I think I might go into acting full-time.
Darbil, could you introduce me to this young man?
My apologies, Master Toos. I somehow missed you in the crowd earlier.
I was some distance away. I just came over near the end after I noticed a large crowd gathered around the stage. The performance was outstanding across the board. I knew that the poor turnout over the past few days was just bad luck. It was only ever a matter of time before you hit it big. The improvised section was particularly good. I think you could include some improvisation as a staple in future performances. As for the prop he threw, no need to get it back. It's fairly cheap anyway.
Thank you, sir. And a big thanks also to our wonderful prince. Had Kaya not agreed to fill in, we might have disbanded right on the spot.
Kaya, was it? Well, young man, I must say you've made quite the impression on me. My caravan is always loaded with the finest food and wines. You're welcome to visit at any time.
Thank you for the invite, sir, but I'm afraid I've reached the end of my time in Sumeru. I'm sure that my friends and family in Mondstadt must be missing me terribly.
Well then, consider it an open invitation. Once you've been bitten by the travel bug, my friend, you'll be getting itchy feet again before too long. My door is always open. If you're ever interested, please ask Darbil to reach out to me. Darbil, we can continue discussions on the sponsorship once you've wrapped up today's show. I'm going back to...
Thank you so much, Master Toos. I'll see you shortly. Seriously, Kaya, thank you for bailing me out again. You're a good guy. May the gods bless you. You know, you should stay for a few more days. I owe you a meal at the very least.
Darbil, Asgar is back. He lost track of time playing Genius
Playing
Invocation.
our game.
GG. You've got to sort...
Genius Invocation again? Ah, that does it. That kid's not getting away with it this time. Please excuse me, Kaya. I will be right back.
Sure, there's no rush.
Him.
Okay, I think they're all gone. Let's slip away now while we can.
Say what? Leave.
All right, this should be far enough. Don't think they'll find me here.
Get signed some autographs.
People were starting to expect a lot of things that I didn't sign up for. Besides, the missing actor is back now. Darbill shouldn't be needing me to stand in again. I don't mind socializing, but compared to chatting over food and drink, I much prefer just going wild on the stage. What about you? Did you enjoy the show?
Actually, an improv section. I was curious to know what was going through your mind.
Oh, I was expecting a lengthier critique, but you've thrown the question right back at me. Sneaky. Let me think. All the world's a stage, and all the people merely players. Does that answer your question? Perhaps there's an inept god out there deciding everyone's fates? Much like the academia student drafting Darbill's scripts. Yeah, inept is a good word for
Boy.
it. Honestly, it might even be a little too civil to describe a god who turns fathers against their sons and is bent on endless warmongering, don't you think? Anyway, that's exactly why actors need to wake up and realize they don't have to follow the script. There's nothing to stop them from following their gut and making it up as they go along.
We believe that.
Oh, my dear traveler, please don't take me too literally. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The god is just a figure of speech. The real point I'm making is about everyone, you and I included, is both an actor and a member of the audience. If you don't like the script, just walk off the stage and join the audience. You always have a choice.
Sounds difficult.
A little too obtuse? Well, don't dwell on it. It's nothing worth losing sleep over. I was just thinking aloud. Relax. Be yourself. Do your thing. That's all I'm really trying to... When I did my little bit of audience interaction back there, you had no time to prepare. You had to just say what you thought in the moment. I think those spontaneous thoughts are often the most authentic. And that's why I liked your... You're still holding on to the Italu I threw you from the stage, right? Keep it. Think of it as a souvenir from my improvised... It's been the most fascinating day, hasn't it, little birdie?
Birdie. Things. Get to the... I get the other ending.
Gundafar, we are in the middle of a war. Your
A matter of utmost importance.
Huh. Outdoor theater.
Where were we now? Travel expenses?
Yes. Here's what I was thinking about the unused funds. Given that the acting Grand Masters saw fit to allocate these funds to my trip in the first place, I think it's my responsibility to make sure that every last mora is put to good use. In other words, what do you say we find a way to spend the remaining budget? Perhaps a fancy meal at a nice restaurant?
Oh boy.
A river cruise that takes in the sights of Sumeru City? Or we could buy a few nice mementos to take home.
Isn't this... Can't believe your team talking so openly about living up at the public's expense.
Hey, no need to put it like that. Let's keep walking. We can consider it some more on the road.
Bad ending.
The rules of the Knights of Favonia state that any and all expenditures during a business trip are counted as travel expenses. That's more than enough justification to live a little. Of course, with me being here on my own, it was looking like a wasted opportunity. But now that I've run into you, why don't we make this a joint trip? You're always so busy. It's high time you gave yourself a proper break. Even the sharpest blade loses its edge if it's always in use. Regular maintenance is essential for reliable performance. And anyway, life is short, so we should make the most of the time we have. Right now is the perfect time to relax and enjoy ourselves. And who knows how many other chances we'll get. So come on, what do you say?
Be honest, or should we be dishonest? In my
Great. Music to my ears. I
oh
bet there's
boy,
nothing more enjoyable than the company of a good friend.
so
Let's
the
call this a nice little excursion to
comments
now.
tomorrow.
Let me think where we should go. I've seen a lot of Sumeru already, so let's go. How about Liyue? I'd be heading past there on my way back to Mondstadt anyway.
I'll show you around.
Well, lucky me. Liyue's Ministry of Civil Affairs frequently corresponds with the Knights of Favonius, so the address on their letterhead is one of the few places I'm familiar with. I don't have much luggage, so it won't take me long to pack. Give me a moment.
West. The leeway. Teleport there. There's
I've heard that there's lots to see and do in Liyue, but I'm sure you're more familiar with the place than I am, so I'll leave the itinerary to you.
know all the best seeing spots. Can't go wrong when you're with me.
Maybe
I
you can
can't
tell me about
speak.
your previous travels here along the way. It's such a satisfying feeling to just drop everything, go on a long trip, and see something new. Who knows who we might cross paths with? We might even end up going on an impromptu adventure. Do you know this shop? It looks pretty nice from the outside. Shall we take a look?
Look in the shop.
Welcome to Mingxing Jewelry. We are a long-established trader of precious stones. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Let me see. Ah, some nice jewelry you've got here. Maybe I can grab something with a local flavor as a souvenir. What do you think, traveler? See anything that suits my style? I trust your judgment.
Buying souvenirs. Can't speak. You buying souvenirs on the first day of your trip?
Ah, you're interested in souvenirs. If you're struggling to decide, you might want to consider getting some jade. You can't
Jade.
go wrong with a nice jade pendant. They're an elegant addition to your look, whatever your age or gender. If you're looking for a specific design, we can make it to your specifications. It does take some time to fulfill an order, however. High-quality jade is hard to come by, so our waiting list is at least a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a pity. I'm just visiting and I won't be in town for very long. So as much as it pains me to do so, I'm afraid I'll have to leave this beautiful...
No worries at all, sir. If you're looking for something off the shelf, why not go and see Mr. Shurto at the Jade Mystery? He also deals in jade and precious stones.
Jade Bang guy?
Exactly. But on that note, let me give you a word of advice. There's no risk in purchasing a piece of jade that's already been cut. But you could lose all of your mora betting on uncut rocks. I won't say any more, as I don't want my fellow vendors to think I'm bad-mouthing them. But I think you catch my drift. It's only human nature to spend a little when you're on a trip. But don't be too hasty to part with your cash. The Ministry of Civil Affairs takes everyone's economic well-being very seriously, and they often send out the Millilith to spread public awareness of well-known scams. As guests here, I'd encourage you to watch out for anyone trying to rip you off.
I think that's sound advice wherever you go into that.
Need mystery weren't this. Right back. This gun's invisible. Right back. 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 So let's continue for a little bit. Jade Mystery. Right here.
Welcome! Looking for uncut stones or pre-cut jade? We've got plenty of both for your viewing pleasure.
Uncut stones. Ah, yes, we were just briefed on that. Let's take a look at the pre-cut jade.
Be careful.
I believe I detect a quiet but distinct tone of apprehension in your words. Please rest assured, there's nothing to be quite so wary about with my business. Feel free to peruse at your leisure. I think you'll find that everything I do here is entirely above board and legitimate, and I sell only pure and unadulterated goods. No scam guaranteed. Sure, you can bet on jade and lose if you're unlucky, but that doesn't make it a scam. My terms are clear and transparent, and I only do business with willing customers. What scammer can claim that?
Sounds perfectly reasonable. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much the vendor is charging. If the customer decides to hand over their money, they're taking the bait of their own free will.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you understand. Although your peculiar phrasing at the end there, you almost make it sound as if I really am scamming people. Anyway, betting on jade is what it is. Feel free to try your luck, but if you can't afford to lose, then it's not for you. We don't need to cause each other any trouble. I'll leave you to browse at your own pace now while I deal with other potential customers.
Amber-colored jade would probably make for a good souvenir.
Really think I'm buying it.
Why not? This is a quirky little place. Somehow, I'm inclined to entertain him for a bit.
And better quality people.
Well, if you're not interested, then I guess we'll pass.
Ahoy there, Captain! Fancy seeing you back in town. Struck any gold lately?
What, a poor sailor like me? You must be joking. I barely managed to make ends meet. What about you, Chateau? Still scamming people with your pile of rocks?
Hey! Keep your voice down. Can't you see I've got customers? But more to the point, when have you ever seen a customer get scammed in my store?
I mean, you want the full list?
Oh boy.
Captain Kaya, what brings you to Liyue?
Oh, just taking a short trip with my friend. It's been a while.
Yes, it's been a good while, hasn't it?
Anywhere you'd recommend I visit while I'm here?
Let me think. Wanmin Restaurant's always a pretty good bet. Chef Mao's daughter is a skilled chef, and their prices are very reasonable. My wife can't get enough of their boiled fish. You could give that a try. And, speaking of my wife, she won't let me forget what a great help you've been to us before. So thank you, on her behalf.
Your wife? Ah, yes. How is she doing these days? Keeping well?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Anyway, I've got something I need to do down at the South Wharf, so my apologies, Captain Kaya, but I'd better get going.
All right. See you. Ah, I finally remembered who that was. Captain Wu. He runs a transport business between Mondstadt and Liyue.
I see. So you went through that whole conversation with no idea who you were
Boy.
talking to. Well, that explains the generic pleasantries and the general awkwardness. Old Wu's usually quite the chatterbox, so it's very unusual for him to just take off mid-conversation. How exactly do you two know each other anyway?
He owes Kyle. Excuse me. He owes Kyle money.
Nope, that's not it. I don't give out loans. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. The captain was making a delivery to Mondstadt when his ship sprang a leak. He overexerted himself fixing it and keeping the cargo dry, and ended up passing out from exhaustion. I took him to Mondstadt to recover.
Well, it still seems strange to me. Sure, he's hardly the most charming conversationalist, and he's also mighty stubborn, but all of us know Old Wu is an honest and kind-hearted man. His eldest was once playing on that big rock over there when he took a tumble and injured himself. I helped to patch the kid up, and the next day, Old Wu was here to buy a couple of uncut stones. I'm just surprised he was so quick to excuse himself, that's all. Normally, he's the kind of guy who, if you run into him on the street and he owes you a favor, he'll grab you by the hand and thank you profusely until you ask him to stop.
Well, stubborn, I can believe. Someone had drilled a gaping hole in his ship, and the water was coming in fast. How he managed to make it all the way to Mondstadt, not to mention with his cargo intact, I have no idea.
Someone drilled a hole in his ship? Oh dear. It must have been one of the less savory captains out there trying to sabotage his business, so they can squeeze their way into the market. When competition is stiff, sometimes things get ugly. It's the way of the world, unfortunately. His line of work isn't easy. The poor fellow usually has to set sail before the break of dawn. He's been loitering around a lot these past few weeks, though. I thought maybe he'd come into some Mora. Competition is fierce these days, and there's not a lot of Mora to be made in shipping. So every day he stays idle is another negative in the books. I do wonder what's gotten into him. Anyway, I digress. We merchants protect our goods like our own lives, so who knows? Maybe he had some important cargo to see to. Either way, good sir, don't mind him.
He is a kind soul.
I am an upstanding member of the Knights of Favonius, after all. Just look me in the eyes. Don't you find me trustworthy?
Since you asked about recommendations earlier, you're here from Mondstadt, yes? Might I suggest the tea house is somewhere to rest your legs? If memory serves, they're just about to retell the tale of Bravebeard the Valiant from the top. Why not pay them a visit?
Huh. Sounds interesting enough.
Tea house. Or not. Excuse me.
I didn't know.
Sorry. Village. So go down there. Peter. Down here. Let's talk to Master Lou. What's a hurry, young man? I'd like to sit down and have a cup of tea. Master Lou. Something. Oh, it's not difficult to build a new stage, but I'm afraid I cannot help. Rio Harbor is too far away. No one will take care of them. Never mind. We won't borrow FAMU carpenters. Hang on a second. Since you traveled all the way here, why don't I recommend someone to you? He's not my apprentice. I'm concerned the possibility of accepting him. Mr. Lou, I'm almost done with the 4-chair set. Hey, thank you for helping out in the village. Because Devil was about to say that you can handle your request well. You have a job for me. I'm not yet Master Lu's apprentice. Come down there. They came from William Harbor and wants us to build a new stage for them. Well, you want us to build a new stage. Us means why is the text going so fast? Found in timeline. Bad time to get it on. Sorry. Thank you, Master. Are you the first job when you build a stage? Piece of cake. I worked for a carpenter built the stage for a Jade Chamber. Don't be so proud yet. The stage at HUT House will last for decades. Foundations all for hours, damn. That's the voice I gave her. So you have to wait a bit. These 3 pieces of pine wood for the last chair and go and collect them. Can't wait. If you don't want to wait, then you have to magically produce 3 pieces of pine wood right here, right now. Got it. You really can do that? And can I trouble you bring me 1 red dye? Oh, wait a minute. Don't get so worked up. A great person like you must have a rare heart. With furniture materials. I think we have. Thank you for your help. Have you found 3 pieces of pine wood and red dye? You got 2 pieces. Get the red dye. Get down. Chilies.
What's the hurry?
Easily can chop down. Hey, you look like a traveler, are you? Yes. How cool, you must have been in so many cool places and seen so many cool things. That's the sealer to Crux. Crooks. Good luck you could do it. Oh. Letter here. I'll talk to you. Goodbye. Letter. Or we could just take it. Red dye and a pine. I'll fall off the cliff. Back to my that. They're pines. Or wood. William Bill. Cereal. The ocean boss.
What's the hurry?
Do that. There are pines.
What's the hurry?
A pirate. Craft. Alchemy table. Red dot. Red dye. Have to go, talk to Tubby.
Maybe you're not.
Sharing. You with the
If you ever have any questions about.
battle.
Seems all the other knights already have their hands full.
Down there.
Catch the wind.
No. There they are. Last chair is finished. Take care, Master. I'll be back in a few days. Alright, be safe. Well then, if I wait now, reach Lee Harbor by tomorrow morning. See you at the HUT house then. Wait till the following day. Don't you? HUT. Cows. The hill. Bears. Hey man, don't tell me you're still arguing amongst yourselves. Well again, Mr. Lusu wants to build a new stage, but he doesn't make the call here. And you're only two other things sorting out. It's just great. Alright, commission fee. Be patient. Let me try come on talking to him again. Just arguing. Him. Thinking about you. You're being humorous. Consideration. Routine. Get it. Eugen feels very different than usual. Not to hire her. Why back in the stage? So we can't rebuild it. planks. Go to this warehouse and get the planks. There, just behind. I'm you.
What's the hurry?
Let's see, nothing seems to have changed at all. Are stingy.
Huh. So this is the Hoyu tea house.
Finds
We
Batakaya.
meet again, Captain Kaya. What a coincidence. Twice in one day.
You say you had something to do at the South Wharf.
Oh, that didn't take me long, and I ran the whole way.
Woo, weren't you just at Wanwen Bookhouse buying a book for your daughter? What's this talk about the wharf?
Oh boy.
Just leave it be, Aunt Jong. There's no need to embarrass him right in front of everyone else. I take it that you two aren't from around these parts. I'm a caravan guard by
Be
trade,
right back.
and meeting people from all over the world is one of the main perks of the job for me. Why don't you join my table so we can get to know each other?
Oh, seems like the tea house is the place to be in Liyue. Feels like I'm back in the angel share. Did you manage to get something for your daughter just now, Captain Wu?
Yes, thank you. If it weren't for you, Captain Kaya, she might not have even made it into this world.
I'm so lost, Woo. What's the story here?
Your wife's originally from Mondstadt, isn't she? Did you run into Captain Kaya when you were there on business, or when you were visiting the in-laws?
The latter.
back. Wait, Kaya saved you more than once.
Oh, this is so humiliating. Anyway, back when my wife was pregnant, we were taking a trip to Mondstadt to visit her parents this one time, when we were mugged by a group of treasure hoarders near Dawn Winery.
Oh, that sounds awful. Were either of you hurt?
I mean, he's still here, and he's still got all his limbs, so they can't have roughed him up too bad. I'm guessing Captain Kaya stepped in before they could do either of you any serious harm, huh?
Yes, he did. Thankfully, he heard my wife crying for help and drove them away. My wife was injured and quite shaken up by the ordeal, so he took her to the winery and asked them to look after her.
So what happened to you? Where did you disappear to?
I was in the water.
Huh? What did you jump in the water for? You know they can still get you in there, right?
No, that's not... They threw me into the water.
Oh boy.
And, stripped me of all my clothes.
They did what? Did they have a weird fetish or something? Stripping a sailor naked and throwing him into the water?
Yeah, say what?
It's not like you were going to drown.
The treasure hoarders always move in groups, and fighting back when you're outnumbered isn't usually an option. It's no surprise that they quickly overpowered Captain Wu. I'm just glad that everyone made it out.
Got some weird treasure hoarders.
Captain Kaya, please, there's no need for you to try to save face for me like... Yet, despite that, I somehow only ended up humiliating myself for... They tossed me into the water to humiliate me, and to use it as leverage to get my wife to pay up. But they didn't know that I could swim. What I'd intended was to pretend to drown, then sneak back onto shore while they weren't looking, and find a way to rescue my wife. That was before Captain Kaya appeared out of nowhere and saved the day. But God knows what they did with my clothes. I couldn't find them anywhere. By the time I gave up looking for them...
Oh boy.
Outrageous!
So, what happened next?
I made it to the winery, but the maids noticed me first. And they called the Lord of the Manor out to give me the beating the treasure hoarders never got around to. After my wife recovered consciousness, she had to have a long talk with the young lord to explain everything.
Ugh, good luck living that one down.
Trust me, I know. My wife never lets me forget.
I'm sorry, Captain. I wasn't intending to share that story.
It's fine. It's my own fault for thinking I could sweep it under the carpet, and still, it won't stop me from trying. You and your friend are here to catch the storyteller. In fact, they do serve some food here, too, but